Rules for those of you camping on Colorado Boulevard before the Rose Parade. Written by Nikki XX. There's something magical about the Rose Parade. The horses, the music, the pageantry, those beautiful floats. Each is a unique piece of art, with a one-of-a-kind twist. The floats are not painted, but covered in all-natural materials. Millions of beans, seeds, petals, and leaves are represented at the Rose Parade, as are the thousands of volunteer hours required to cut, sort, and glue all of those beans and petals by New Year's Eve. The first tournament of Roses Parade was held in 1890. It was the brainchild of Charles F. Holder, the well-known naturalist and a member of the exclusive Valley Hunt Club. Holder hatched a plan to lure new transplants to Southern California, a parade and sporting event featuring horse-drawn carriages dolled up in fresh-cut flowers. The East Coast was under 3 feet of snow, but in Pasadena, the roses were bloomin'. If you have traveled to Pasadena this year to watch the parade live, welcome! It's a lovely experience, and I sincerely hope you enjoy your time in my hometown. And some of you, I'm sure, have signed up for the full Rose Parade experience. And by that, I mean camping out on Colorado Boulevard tonight to make sure you have a front row seat tomorrow. This post is for all you campers. 18 rules to ensure your New Year's Eve on Colorado Boulevard is as safe and enjoyable as possible. 1. Clean up after yourself. Colorado Boulevard on New Year's Eve is basically Disneyland. There's a waste bin every 20 steps. Please don't leave your trash in the streets. It's gross. And also it attracts the mud fishers. And we've been trying really hard to keep them away from out-of-town visitors. Mud fishers live underground, and normally they stay there. But assemble a big enough group of people and throw around enough trash, and they'll get a little braver. Like seagulls to a picnic on the beach. 2. On the subject of the mud fishers, as you're picking out a camping spot, try and avoid storm drains. We're horror fans here. We've all seen it, right? If you absolutely must, and there's nowhere free but near the storm drain, keep the kitties on the sidewalk. Because if you watch long enough, you may see sinewy, gelatinous, arm-dripping chunks of brown sludge extended from beneath the street. And that reaching, gelatinous, dripping arm will culminate in an elongated human hand with too many fingers. And that hand will grasp for things. Half-eaten burgers, discarded tubes of coleslaw, crushed burritos, and a pudgy child's leg feels a whole lot like a nice warm burrito. 3. No claim jumping. Colorado Boulevard is the Wild West on December 31st. If you can find a spot and hold it, it's yours. But much like in Deadwood, things are easier when we all agree to a generalized moral compass. If a spot is squared off by a chalk outline with a name written inside, move along. Think about it like this. You don't know anything about the people who took chalk to the sidewalk, do you? Chalk can be a very powerful thing, and certain magic practitioners get rather, let's say tricky in Pasadena. That chalk square with Garcia printed along the edges may in fact be a sigil with a very powerful spell attached to it. You wouldn't want to plop down your folding chair and get yourself transported to another dimension, now would you? Possibly another dimension with bear spiders and 10-foot tall fire monsters that would like nothing better than you for dinner. All I'm saying is, more than one unsavory sorcerer has utilized Rose Parade squatters as demon chow. 4. Fires are allowed in manufactured barbecues at least 1 foot off the ground, 25 feet away from buildings, with an extinguisher on hand. Do not start bonfires. This isn't Venice Beach. We're in California. The weather is rather dry, and no one wants to be that asshole on the news who set the Starbucks on fire. Also, remember those sigils I mentioned earlier? They don't always wash out, even when the chalk has been hosed off. Sometimes their power lingers for a bit, and if you start a bonfire on top of one of those old sigils, there's a chance that fire may serve as a portal for some creature from another dimension to be transported into ours. I'll say it again. Bear spiders. 5. You'll see men and women in white polos with red Rose Parade ribbons walking about. Make friends with them. They're volunteers from the Pasadena Tournament of Roses Association, Security and Oversight Committee. Think of them as the Rose Parade's own mini special forces. They'll help you out if you find yourself in a particular kind of trouble. They are armed. Don't worry, the bullets in their guns aren't harmful to humans. 6. Keep an eye out on your kids. Pasadena is a pretty safe town, but you can never be too careful, especially when you're surrounded by so many strangers. Also, if you happen to see a young child wandering about looking lost, be a good citizen and find a police officer. They'll be patrolling as well, who can help them find their parents. However, if you come across a child who is all alone and this child says to you, "I'm looking for my sister Cassidy," or "Can you find my sister Cassidy?" or any variation attached to the name Cassidy, turn around and walk away. Do not answer them. Do not follow them. Immediately seek out a member of the Security and Oversight Committee. See Rule 5. The child may be anywhere between the ages of 5 and 12, a boy or a girl of any race. Let me make this abundantly clear. It is not a real child. 7. If you see a golden playing card on the ground, do not pick it up. Tell your friends, family, and children not to pick them up. If you notice another parade guest picking up a golden playing card, avoid that person the rest of the night. No need to alert the police or the Security and Oversight Committee. There's nothing anyone can do for them. We've tried to kill this game for years, but for some reason, every year, a few idiots insist on keeping it alive. 8. There are tons of awesome businesses along Colorado Boulevard. Some of them stay open late on New Year's Eve. Please, enjoy them. A few of my favorites are Wonderlust Ice Cream, Try the Rose Stracciatella, Europan Bakery, Intelligentsia Coffee. I like to do some of my writing over there. 21 Choices Frozen Yogurt, and the 35er Bar, or any other dive bar. If you walk by any business bearing the name Angel Fingers, do not enter. There is no establishment in Pasadena called Angel Fingers. Be very mindful of this, because Angel Fingers is a slippery fish. It's appeared as Angel Fingers Crepes, Angel Fingers Massage and Manicure, Angel Fingers Plus Size Outlet, and so on. Sometimes it'll get cute with languages. Dita D'Angelo Italian Eatery, for example. I've been told it appeared as a strip joint once. Whatever sort of establishment it concocts this year, the rule is the same. Do not, under any circumstances, walk through the door. Angel Fingers will appear warm and inviting. The young man or young lady behind the counter will be attractive. And the thing it is selling, whatever that product may be, will be exactly the product you wish to purchase at the exact moment you notice it. Don't be fooled. If you enter Angel's Fingers, you will never exit. 9. Selling anything along the parade route without a city permit is prohibited. Will individuals play fast and loose with this particular rule? 99% of those unlicensed vendors are harmless. The guy or girl grilling street dogs is probably fine. Probably. If, however, you happen to come across a man in an overcoat selling yellow popsicles out of a pushcart, do not buy one. Avoid that man. Find a member of the Security and Oversight Committee and alert them. If you happen across a woman in a shawl hawking fresh-cut blossoms from the Garden of Bethel, same thing. Or anyone selling horns. Horns aren't dangerous, they're just really annoying. 10. Back to the playing cards thing. See Rule 7. Avoid anyone who is carrying around gold playing cards. They are involved in the Rose Queen game. Another way to identify players, they will all be wearing the same necklace. It's a pink rose quartz pendant shaped like a little woman with an elephant's trunk on a gold or silver chain. Stay away from these players. If they try to strike up a conversation with you, kindly excuse yourself. 11. You may be approached by a woman who offers to tell you your fortune. Or you may pass tarot readers with their cards set up on the sidewalk. Palm readers. Last year, there was a teenage goth chick throwing rune stones. Think of these women as Rosario Dawson and the Old Town prostitutes from Sin City. If you aren't buying what they're selling, politely decline and walk away. If you are interested in knowing what the future holds, ask to see her membership card from the Pasadena Witches Coven. If she's a member, she will happily show it to you. If she argues or becomes indignant, walk away. She's an amateur. She might actually intentionally or not put a hex on you. And she's taking her life into her hands. The Pasadena Witches Coven is the oldest occult society in the city, and they don't appreciate interlopers cutting into their profit margins. If she does have a membership card, proceed with caution. You play by her rules, not the other way around. She will be open and honest about her fees. Pay in full. Whether or not you are satisfied with your reading, do not haggle with her. Do not refuse to pay. I'm telling you this for your own good. There's a story still told in Pasadena. Once, in the 1940s, Jack Parsons hired 2 women from the Pasadena Witches Coven to perform a seance, then stiff them. He woke up 13 hours later off the trail in Edon Canyon, pants around his ankles, watch and wallet missing, with no memory of how he got there. 12. You may come across individuals, typically high school or college students, doing odd things. Barking like a dog up a tree, for example. Walking backwards in a circle, chanting gibberish. Clawing at their own skin. Running face first into a wall. Do not attempt to stop them. Do not approach them at all. They are playing the Rose Queen game. See Rule 7 and 10. If you cannot tell the difference between a player and an intoxicated person who may be in need of medical assistance, find a member of the Security and Oversight Committee. They will ascertain what, if anything, needs to be done next. And once more, do not speak to a player yourself. If they approach you, extract yourself from the conversation and move far away. 13. There will be homeless individuals camped out along the parade route. Most are harmless. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you. Feel free to give them spare change. Personally, I prefer buying them a sandwich or offering an extra jacket over handing out cash, to avoid enabling someone's drug or alcohol habit, but to each their own. If you discover a homeless woman wearing long sleeves, gloves, and a billowing skirt that covers her feet, stay away from her. She may present knitting a baby sweater. You'll recognize this woman, because the longer you stare at her, the more wrong she will appear. Her eyes are too far apart. Her knees and elbows bend the wrong way. Her tongue is pitch black. Little details, gone in an instant, but details that kicked in your ID, spurred by whatever bit of our unconsciousness recognizes things not of this world and warns us to fear them. If you see a woman matching the description, immediately notify a member of the Security and Oversight Committee. No need to play this one coy. She eats people. 14. Stay away from abandoned storefronts. Specifically, abandoned storefronts with a circle around a Z spray painted on their doors. All the infected storefronts should have been tagged, but there's a chance we missed a couple. So, to be safe, stay away from all abandoned storefronts as a general rule. If you have no choice but to set up camp in front of an abandoned storefront, try not to look at it for far too long, and don't get too close. If you hear scratching on the door or windows of the abandoned storefront, ignore it. If you hear knocks, ignore them as well. Do not, under any circumstances, open the door. Even if the door is unlocked. Especially if the door is unlocked. If there is a line of salt or ash across the door frame, do not disturb it. See, what's trapped inside these abandoned storefronts is not a kitty or a lost dog. What it is a skilled manipulator. It will attempt to cajole you into releasing it. It will imitate your favorite animal. It will imitate a baby's cry. It will scream like a lady in danger, or sob, or take on a child's voice and beg for help. It can sense what tugs at your heartstrings, and it will exploit that. Again, if you are not sure whether a child or animal is in real danger, find a member of the Security and Oversight Committee and defer to them, but do not open the door. Never let it out. 15. So, a little bit more about the players of the Rose Queen game. I mentioned they wear pink quartz pendants in the shape of a woman with an elephant's trunk, and that they will try and engage you in conversation. See rules 10 and 12. Some elaboration. As the night wears on, and midnight and then dawn approaches, the players who have not yet won the Rose Queen game will become desperate. They will try and convince you to take the necklace with the rose quartz pendant from them. Do not do that. If you accept the necklace and put it around your neck, they will be released from the Rose Queen game, and you will be forced to take their place. They're not allowed to use force, but some players are clever. They'll say it's an antique and worth a lot of money, and they'll leave it on the ground for you to find, like hidden treasure. Others will beg you to take it from them. They'll cry. They'll implore you to save them, for their parents' sake, for their children's. They'll quiver and wail and fall to the ground in a devastated heap. You must kindly decline and walk away. You can't save them. 16. No drones. I shouldn't have to say this. No flying drones are allowed anywhere near the parade. This isn't my rule, it's the FBI's. If you don't want the FBI 6 feet up your colon, leave the drones at home. 17. Approach the night with a heightened level of discretion. On Colorado Boulevard, on New Year's Eve, the barrier between our world and the universe is simply a little bit thinner. Think of it as one long liminal space. Reality is slightly altered. Like, it's going to be cold out tonight, high 40s. So if you see a person dressed inappropriately, for example, in a tank top and shorts, keep your distance. No need to holler or make a big fuss about it. Just consider that the person may not actually be a person. If a stray cat or dog pays you too much attention, keep your distance. If a stray cat or dog makes sounds not normally made by cats or dogs, say it croaks or chirps, keep your distance. If you find a door in a wall you could swear wasn't there 5 minutes ago, don't open that door. If you're extra paranoid, bring along a baggie of salt or a bottle of holy water. These may assist you in differentiating what is and isn't a supernatural beastie, but they may also garner you a reputation as that asshole who's been throwing salt at people all night. 18. Be careful while walking down poorly lit side streets or into dark parking lots. If you must do so, be wary, especially in the early hours of the morning when the sky turns from black to blue. As dawn breaks, you may be made privy to a disturbing sight. You may see a sickly green creature shaped like a 5-foot-long cockroach with the arms and legs and hands and feet of a man. Too many arms and legs. Hopefully you won't get too good a look at it. It will likely be hunched over. Its spindly human fingers and its many mouths will be coated with blood. Its 100 of eyes will dart to and from a creature protecting its meal. An extracted bowel may dangle from brown pointed teeth. If you are made privy to this sight, turn around and hurry off in the opposite direction. No need to run. You are not on the dessert menu. Don't bother alerting the authorities. There's nothing they can do. Do yourself a favor. Don't let your glance linger for too long, because if you do, you might catch a glimpse of the great anthropomorphic roach's meal, of fingers and toes gnawed like chicken bones, of a torso torn open and torn apart, of a face that was once human, bloated and black and purple, eyes staring skywards in infinite horror, mouth twisted into one final scream. This meal was a player who lost the Rose Queen game. That's about it, guys. Stay safe out there, support local businesses, tip your waiters, and take lots of photos and videos. The Rose Parade truly is a special experience, and I hope each and every one of you has the time of your life. Happy New Year, and welcome to Pasadena.